So today is Wednesday, and I'm assuming that as you're in the main body of the maths lesson, you've already completed and marked your arithmetic practice for today. So let's move on to find out what we are going to be learning today. So we're going to be now looking at common factors of numbers. Yesterday, you looked at finding the lowest common multiples of numbers and using that knowledge of common multiples to calculate some worded problems based around them. So today, we're going to be looking at common factors. How are you going to be successful? Again, times table facts are going to be very important here. Again, working systematically and being able to fully explain your reasoning using numbers and words to help you do so. So let's move on and look and see what a common factor is. So remember, a factor are two numbers that we multiply together to get the number. So if we've got 24, what numbers would we multiply together to get to 24? So we're going to do this systematically. And now you may remember, Yellow Group, we did do this in the autumn term and we're revisiting it now in spring term. So you'll be able to draw on your previous knowledge. And I'm sure once you see me doing this systematically, it'll all come flooding back to you so you can remember it. So we've got to find, oops, sorry, didn't want to do that. We've got to find the factor pairs of 24. What numbers multiplied together make 24? So I'm going to do this systematically. I'm going to do 1 times 24 is 24. So 1 and 24 are factor pairs. 2 and 12. 2 times 12 make 24. 3 times 8 make 24. So I'm using my times table knowledge. Now, I could be looking at my times table grid and thinking, oh, to help me, can I look down and find 24 and what numbers multiplied together make 24? Now, what I've shown you here is hopefully now you can see my systematic approach. I've started off at 1. I'm thinking 1 times what makes 24? Does 2 times something make 24? Does 3 times something make 24? Does 4 times something make 24? Now I've got to make sure I've got all the factor pairs, so I keep on going. Does 24 appear in the 5 times table? No, it doesn't. Nothing is times by that, so that is not going to be a factor of 24. However, I know that 6 times 4 is 24. However, we've already got that there. So once you start to see the numbers, when you get to this point where you've got 4 times 6 and then 6 times 4, where the factors are transposed, you know that you have got all the factor pairs, so you don't need to do that one. So, nor need you do that. Let's just rub that one out because that looks very messy there, doesn't it? Okay, so I now know that because I've worked systematically, I've found all the factor pairs for 24. Is it all coming back to you now, Yellow Group, and how you do this? So let's move on and see how you're going to apply that knowledge to help you answer some questions. Okay, we're looking at finding common factors of numbers, common in both. So we've got 32 here and 12 here. What factors are common to both? So again, I've worked my way through. I've got 1 and 32, 2 and 16. I know 3 does not, or 32 does not appear in the 3 times table. I can't multiply anything with it to get to 32. So 3 is out. Then 4 and 8. 4 times 8 is 32. I then have gone on the way down. I would have done 5. So let's type this one. I would have done 5. Or not typed 5. I could have 5, doesn't work. 6, 32 doesn't appear in the 6 times table. 7, no, but 8 and 4 do. However, I've already got 4 and 8, so I don't need to include any of those. So I can just get rid of all those there. And I've done exactly the same with 12, because I know 1 times 12 is 12, 2 times 6 is 12, 3 times 4 is 12, and then I could have continued on and done 4 times 3 is 12. So again, I've transposed those figures, those factors, so I know that I've got them all there. So then I go through and look at 32 and look for the common factors in both. So 1 appears in the 12 times, 2 appears in the 12 times. There isn't a 3, so 4 appears. There's 8, no. 16, no. 32, no. Now, I knew they wouldn't anyway because they're both bigger than 12. Okay, so the final thing here is then you list your answer. The common factors of 32 and 12 are 1, 2, and 4, and that is my answer. So if you approach this systematically, working your way through exactly as I did here, use that as your model to help you. And then I'd like you to find the common factors of these numbers here. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 questions here from task 1. I'd like you to do 1, mark it to check you're on the right lines. And then if you got it correct, move on. If you haven't, go back and purple pen where you went wrong. And I'd like you to complete these 4, please, practicing finding the common factors. When you've done that and marked it, I'd like you to restart the video and move on to task 2. Now, task 2 is a challenge task. If you're very comfortable with this one, then you could do 1 of these and move on, or you can leave that and move on to task 3, which is a little bit more challenging for you. So I'm leaving that in your hands as to whether you want to actually, when you've completed that, if you found that quite easy, you could move on and do 1 of these and then move on to task 3. So let's have a look at this. So this question is worded slightly differently. Don't let it throw you. So we've got write all the factors of 21 that are not factors of 12. So write all the factors of 21 that are not factors of 12. So I'm really looking for factors of 12 that appear in 21, and then what don't appear will be my answer. And I know there's 3 of them because there's 3 boxes. So what is it asking me to do? Well, the first thing I need to do before I do anything is start to list my factors. And I've done that here to show you. So I've got my 21. So I know that 1 times 21 is 21. 2 times something, well, it would have to be that's an odd number there, so that's not going to work. I'm just thinking as I think that's why I went silent there for a little minute. So 1 times 21, 2 times something. No, 21 does not appear in the 2 times table. You can't times anything by 2 to get to 21. However, I know that 3 times something is 21. Now, I'd be looking at, if I was getting a bit stuck with my times tables at this point, I'd be looking at my times table grid, looking for 21 and seeing what integers times together make 21. So I know 3 and 7 make 21, but I know that 4 or 21 does not appear in the 4 times table. It certainly doesn't appear in the 5 times table because I know that in the 5 times table it has to end in a 0 or a 5. Does not appear in the 6 times table. However, it does appear in the 7 times table. Now, look, I've got this mirroring again. So I already know I've got my factor pairs there, so I don't need that. So I know that my factors of 21 are 1, 3, 7, and 21. Okay, so let's have a look now at the factors of 12. Okay, so here I've got 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4, 4 and 3. Again, I've transposed it, so I do not need that one. Right, so what I'm going to do next is find the common factors of both. So look, I have got, let me get my pen out. Let's do this in a different color. Let's do it in red. I've got 1, and 1. I've got a 2, I've got a 3. Ooh, that's an awful circle. And that's a 3. Does 7 appear? Does 21 appear? No. So the question was saying, write all the factors of 21 that are not factors of 12. And that actually should only have 1 box, 2 boxes there. We don't need that box. Dear me, let's just cross this one out. So here, what is it asking me to do? Write all the factors of 21 that are not factors of 12. So I know that 1 is a factor of 12 and 3 is a factor of 12, but I know 7 and 21 are not factors of 12. So I can put 7 in here and I can put 21 in here. So there we go. So I know now then that I've listed my factors of 21 and 12. I've found the common factors, and it's asking me what factors aren't factors of 12. So it's 21 and 7 is my answer. So now you have got similar questions yourself. I would like you to work through task 3, please. Yellow group. Marking, do one, mark it and move on. See how you get on with these. And then I have a think pink for you as well. And your think pink, once you've done task 1, some of task 2 and task 3, your think pink is for one of the questions you have just answered. Can you please explain how you know you have generated all the factors for each other? And I should be looking for things like expect to see no explanation, like factors, language, working systematically, generating numbers or multiples, 2 numbers that multiply together, and repeating factors. When they start repeating, you know you've got them all. So if you get stuck when you're doing that one, I'd go back to how I modelled doing this, and this should help you explain that think pink. So, yellow group, when you have done all that, it brings you to the end of the lesson. Please remember to send your class teacher your work that you've done, but well done, you've worked really hard today, and I will see you tomorrow.